Good evening, Patriots. Dan Dubois, Canadian Combat Coalition. We're also known as C3. I'm going to try to invite some friends in here. Real quick there. Okay. We want to talk about, tonight we want to talk about a movement that we've joined. They're called the Native Born Canadian Movement. It's for not just native born Canadians, but it's for all Canadians, even Canadians, immigrants, as long as they're holding their full Canadian status citizenship papers, they're invited as well. So this is a great movement, and I'm going to try to invite, I want to invite Sam Rose. Okay, Sam Rose. He's the founder and creator of the Native Born Canadian movement. And it's not just him, it's also Ryan McLean, a C3 member, that also put his efforts into doing this movement. Sorry, I'm distracted there. Trying to add and I don't know if it's happening.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
Okay. Can you hear Sam? Dude. Hang on 1 second. Go
Dogs,
ahead,
eh?
Sam. Go ahead. I'm gonna let Duke out there.
No problem, no problem. Hope everyone can see me here. All right, we'll just wait for him to get back here. Just give a few seconds here. I'm gonna go outside and enjoy the
Sorry about
what's
that.
left.
We had to let Duke out
That's all
there,
right.
Sam. Or Scott, rather. This is Scott
Yeah,
Bachelor. Actually,
yeah,
that's
Scott
his.
Bacheldor there. So
Yeah.
it takes a bit of getting used to. Don't feel bad. Teachers at school couldn't get it when I was growing up. So
Okay. Yeah, it's not the Sam Rose. That's just an account he's working under, but it's actually Scott is his name, and Scott came up with a fantastic idea. Basically, in a nutshell, it's a way of funding the groups, funding the movement, and helping the homeless. So it's a good thing all around. So with that said, because I don't know all the ins and outs, I'm going to let Scott explain exactly what this movement is about. And we're inviting all groups, businesses, and patriots to join this movement, by the way. So go ahead, Scott. I'll shut up.
absolutely. Thank you, Dan. What we are is it's called the Native Born Canadian Movement, and the idea is by the definition on any dictionary, it says one's place of birth is you're native to, right? So you can't control where you're born. So you're born in Canada, you're a native born Canadian, pretty much, right? And you can't or you can't control those two things. So the idea is let's put our little differences aside. Let's get Justin Trudeau out of office, and by coming together, we can actually make a difference, right?
Exactly.
Because the big, and so that's the basic form, right? I mean, and this isn't just for people that were born here either. Anyone is welcome to join as long as they realize that people that were born here should actually have more rights than people just coming here.
Well, it should be Canadians first, eh? That's what we've always said. And that includes Canadians that have a full citizenship. So
Well,
let's not,
absolutely,
yeah, and
absolutely.
let's be clear here. This has nothing to do with race or religion. Like people right away will say, "Oh, Canadians first, and they want their rights above everybody else." No, no. This is not about race whatsoever. Any race, any
No, this is all
religion.
about Canadians coming together to save our country. This is what it's about.
Exactly.
I saw so many groups or individuals fighting the same fight, and then they're getting frustrated because nobody wants to come out and help. But they don't And so I said, well, you know what? Let's create an organization where we can all work together. The big organizations keep their identity, but we come together as members for events and stuff like that as much as we can, as well as later down the road when we get a huge amount of members, we could maybe either run our own political party or support a different one that has the same ideology that we do and the same plan that we want to see for Canadians.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what it's always been about is Canadians first. That's what our government is actually ignoring and giving more rights, more freedoms, more handouts to illegal, and let's make it clear, illegal immigrants than it is its own Canadian citizens. And
Oh yeah, no,
that's what this
exactly.
is all
And
about.
you know, the sad part is the media out there, they're not telling the full truth either. Did you know a lot of those illegal immigrants that have come across too are Christian,
Yeah. Yeah.
if not just Muslim? It shouldn't matter, but I mean, that's the thing, right? As I mean, we're sitting here all being told the lie, so that way we'd fight amongst each other and get all worried. But the reality is, our real enemy is up in Parliament Hill. They'll sit there and say, "Watch this, do that, and do this," while they rob you blind.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
this is
No,
what we need to do is by supporting us by signing up a membership. Right now, we've extended till tomorrow night at midnight, and it's 2018 is a promo code. So you can go to Native Born Canadian Movement website. So that just give me a second here.
yeah.
We will put the link on later there. Just it's new, so it's kind of hard to go off the top of my head. So it's nbcm.ca, and so you can go there, get the membership, just a regular membership for members, and its first 100 people is free. Now we already got members on there. We also put through a social side to the website, so when people start losing their Facebook accounts, this allows for us to communicate still with our people, as well as we will also have a mailing system. So when we have events, we can send everyone an email if they're not quite in with the social side on the website. We also have a business directory, so for businesses that sign up and say, you know, hey, we want to help make change too, and I want to support small businesses, right? They're the ones who help build this country. So by supporting small Canadian businesses that give a discount to our members, all of a sudden the $50 membership a year is actually seeming pretty good.
Let's face it, it's the small Canadian businesses that are our tax base. These big Canadian businesses have found loopholes to not pay taxes. They're not the ones supporting the country. Don't kid yourself. When they're threatened to pay taxes, they threaten layoffs, and the government is so scared of these big companies laying off a lot of people that they tell them, okay, you don't have to pay taxes. I've even heard where companies say, well, we're still going to lay off people. You know, even though we saved all those taxes, that's not enough. So the government then actually gives them money just so that they keep people hired. So if you think that big companies, big business is supporting Canada, think again. It's a small business, and that's why they must be supported so that they can keep supporting the country. It's
No,
just
exactly. There's very few also you know, kind of chains that are left that are still Canadian, because Superstore is not Canadian anymore. Walmart, Costco is not Canadian. But the only ones I know of for sure, at least over here on this side of the country, is No Frills, and it depends on the co-ops. Usually
yeah.
the co-ops sometimes are locally owned, and then No Frills. Sobeys is sometimes it all depends. A lot of them are individually owned, so that goes down to small business owner kind of thing as well. So something like that, though, with being a big brand name, we would actually have to get all of them signed up. It wouldn't because it would be inconvenient for people, right? So, but what I'm trying to get at though is
Yeah.
that there's good businesses that are still here, and if we support them, they'll stay here. If we stop supporting Walmart, and especially their awful ground beef, have you ever tried eating their ground beef? It's double the price anywhere else, and it's just garbage. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
put that aside. It is just
No,
awful
no,
food. And
yeah.
Costco too. I mean, everyone seems to think there's a deal on that, but you go to Canadian wholesalers and you get better prices, and you don't have to pay membership. And it's Canadian. It actually is Canadian business. So there's a few
Yeah.
bigger Canadian outlets across Canada still that do that. There's also Giant Tiger too. I'd never get the vegetables from there, but everything else is pretty good.
Yeah, I've noticed that some of these budget stores, you're not getting grade A vegetables or meat. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's sad that Canadians have to bow down and have to buy second-rate vegetables and meat. But our government is shoving this down our throat and making the cost of living so horrendously high that what can you do? You know?
Well, no, exactly, and the taxes and everything. Like everyone wants to blame the landlord for raising the rate on rent, but the reality is what are the land taxes, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
comes down to the guy's got to make a little bit of money, otherwise it isn't worth it, right? So he's got to pass that on. His
yeah, yeah,
the more his land taxes go up every year, the and it comes down to stupid spending in most towns and cities, right? They don't actually have any accountability, and that's the biggest problem, right? They can
yeah,
just up their
yeah.
wages and say,
There's,
hey, we did a great job. Let's pat everyone on the back. Let's give everyone like a 20 to 30% raise. Who cares?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's why things
So
need to change in this country.
explain to us a little bit about the way that this is actually also going to be helping fund groups and at the same time fund the movement and fund the homeless. Like, how does
Well,
that
see that
Bitcoin or the
membership,
tokens work?
the membership fee that we charge will be handed out to and be given out to organizations that are in the group, in the coalition here.
Hey,
Uh,
James.
as they need it, kind of thing, right? So some might be small needs, just like getting people to rally, and other ones like the Cooperative Community Project that can help the homeless needs a lot more to help people.
Right.
And it's not just the homeless; it's people in extreme poverty. We can help people get back up. Sorry, there's um, if we can help people get back up on their feet that are on social service and disability and stuff like that too. I mean, that's less strain on the system, and it's not that it's their fault. Once you get there, it is very hard to get out of that, right? And these are good
Yeah.
people; they just need help, and they need a different option than what they're given.
Well, which is really no option.
Well,
Their
exactly, right?
wages, their checks aren't going up, but everything else is. That's
Absolutely.
the
That's another.
reality of it.
That's one of the main causes of homelessness is the rents and everything else is going up, and but social service disability isn't.
Yeah,
And when you're there, there's almost a fear with people because it's like, well, do I get a job? Is it permanent? And it's just that mindset, right? Once you've been on social service for a year or two or a disability, it messes with your head, right? Because you don't want to lose it because it's kind of becomes more of a safety net, right? You don't want it because you want to go to work, but if you got problems and you lose your job, it could screw up your whole disability. So it makes it hard for
right.
people to actually want to go and look for work because they're afraid if they maybe only work a day or two and they get fired, or they had to quit because maybe their knees aren't working, then it actually goes a long ways, or then they end up lose their social services or benefits, right? Altogether.
So, so that's why, and I want to keep repeating it. That's why we're encouraging other groups and individuals to actually join this native-born Canadian movement, because this movement is going to be about people who want to help fund us to make donations, and it helps fund the groups so that the groups can continue doing the good things that they're trying to do. And it'll also help fund the movement and the homeless. So it's good for everybody all around. It's
Well,
and
and even for
you're going to
people that are
get
on
a
social
token in
service.
return. Should get
Oh,
into how that works.
okay, yeah. So even for people on social service and disability, if you can't afford a membership, come talk to me. We'll give you a first year for free, and they can be very helpful. And the reason why is because they got time, right? So they can share our stuff every day. If we had 2, 3 thousand people sharing our stuff all across social networks, then we're actually making a difference, right? or even 100 to start with, 50,
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? And so as a member, that we can always find different ways to help the group, right? And that's the thing, is we come together as Canadians, regardless
Yeah.
of race or color, or even religion, and let's say, hey, I may not always like you, but let's come together at least to do this and save our country.
Well, it's what we always say about freedom of speech is that you don't have to like what somebody says, but you're willing to fight for his right to say it. That's
Absolutely,
what
and
freedom of speech
that
is.
goes with
Truly.
any rights across Canada. I mean, it, people should have the right to do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anyone else. Now, if it becomes a bill up on the
Keep
government
going. I
for
got to
some
excuse myself a second. Keep going, Scott.
okay, if it becomes up a bill on people or because they did something stupid, well, then the taxpayer shouldn't pay for it. But that's a whole different thing. When he gets back there, we're going to actually start talking about crypto creations. So just give Dan a minute here, and we'll head on to that, and should be some good fun. I like being a goofball. I'm a bit of a comedian, so just to give you guys an idea about my personality, I'm also pretty smart. Not on purpose, just happened. Anyways, you guys ever need help with building websites or anything like that, come talk to me.
You know, I'll tell you, you want to hear a nice story about Scott? Scott's the guy that was on Parliament Hill for what was it, 9 or 10 days?
We were actually downtown Ottawa there at the World War I Memorial between Wellington and Lyon for about 19 days,
Okay.
and we'd set it up so that way every race was going to come up on Parliament about after 2 weeks we got there, and every group, we had a lot of people that were going to come up, and then the RC there pretty much banned me from it. They said that they were going to throw me in jail because I was ringleader there, and that they were going to arrest anyone who came up. So I canceled everything. Worst part is they phoned our sponsors, and they threatened to take legal action against them if they didn't back down. Just
You
people
know what
getting
else?
free food.
What was amazing is like you told me, you say it wasn't Canadians and it wasn't the churches and it wasn't the politicians. It wasn't none of those people that actually came and gave you food, but that it was actually Muslims.
No,
Am I right?
exactly. When I was at Tim Hortons and stuff like that, dealing with a lot of people, I met people, and when their people learned that we were struggling with food, they started bringing us food every night. It was very spicy and very good, but it was nice. It was a very nice gesture. The first day I arrived there, I was trying to cart two big suitcases down with two others on top, and so I'm carrying about 400 pounds of luggage, and this very nice Muslim lady, she's grabs my bag, one of my bags, and says, "Here, let me help you." This little tiny lady is helping me drag my bags all the way back to where I could try to find a place to store them
There you
when I
go.
first got there.
And
So
that's what we've been saying from the beginning is you can't paint all these people with the same brush that they're bad and evil and hate Canadians. Fact of the matter is Muslims as well there's very many good Muslims that came to Canada to embrace our way of life and fully endorse our way of life and have denounced Islam and have
what?
denounced extreme Islam, because even in Islam, there's some good ones that don't believe in the extremisms of these beliefs. So,
No,
I hate
exactly.
when people say we're racists and we're Nazis, when the fact of the matter is we hate the bad people. And the bad people, some of them are in your Canadian government. There's nothing racist about this. I hate everybody that's bad. I don't give a crap what color he is. And I love everybody that's good. And in the same respect, we don't care what color they are. We have Muslims in C3. We have Sikhs in C3. The good ones. We vet these people.
Absolutely.
And the people that we've let in are good people, you know?
No, and I mean, when I was down there in Ottawa, there was some Muslim families I met when I was talking with, and they said that their biggest fear was that pretty much what we had. Was they're about as terrified of the terrorists as we are. Like ISIS and all that stuff, they're about as scared shitless as we are about them. And then the worst
Yeah.
part is because people have a hard time telling them apart, then they get hated upon by two different groups, right? So
Yeah.
they're kind of being pushed back in a corner. And so when I was talking to a few parents, they were literally saying, honestly, Scott, my biggest fear is that my kids will grow up and think that, they have to actually go fight for these groups to be able to actually make a difference in life. And they shouldn't have to. We should be a country where everything's accepted, but at the same time, all these people are coming in. I mean, they pissed us off. We came in legally, and we did our due diligence, and yet these other people coming in and they're getting a free pass, and they didn't like that.
Well, it's a slap in the face for the people that did come in legally because they have to jump a lot of hoops to get in here legally. They have to spend a lot of time. There's a lot of expense associated to it. They have to have a job. They have to be productive before they can bring the rest of their families over. It's incredible. I know a person that immigrated from Ireland and took 6 years before he got his whole family in. Well, that's a slap in the face for a guy like that. Told me it cost him almost $10,000 when these illegals are walking across the border and instead of paying, we're paying them. And people, oh
Well,
no, we're not paying them. We're housing them. That costs money. We're feeding them. That costs money. And who does it cost money to? You, the taxpayer.
absolutely. No, I mean we got literally military camps set up. I mean the old Olympic Stadium in Quebec there, they've got that filled. I'm actually very surprised that hasn't turned out to be a disaster. I was expecting, someone to get bullied and then, a shootout or something because that was, I mean, you don't put herd people in like a cattle and expect them to cooperate. So far, everything's been pretty good, which is nice. But
Yeah, yeah.
my first reaction, because I know history very well, is that a lot of times those don't turn out very well. But I was hoping for the best, right?
Well, you
But
know
I
what?
mean,
If so far so good, but let's. It's good in that respect, but in the other respect, that it's costing Canadians millions of dollars. It's
yeah,
unfortunate that these
28 billion.
people, some of them, legitimate refugees. I would like to see some of the South African refugees accepted into Canada. I mean, why not? They are being killed. They are, being executed. There is genocide there. These are true
Absolutely.
refugees. That's what I would see coming into Canada. But a person walking across from the United States wearing Nike running shoes and holding a Gucci bag is not a refugee and
No,
should not
exactly.
be.
Like these people that are coming up here from the U.S., they're not in danger. They're not in
No.
harm's way. So how are they a refugee? Just because Trump talked about throwing them out, all of a sudden they walk across the border? That doesn't
They're,
add up
they,
or make sense. And that's why people are confused and frustrated.
they've gotten into the States illegally, and that's why they know they're going to be thrown out. So that's why they're coming into Canada. So what did they do? They broke a federal law in the States by crossing their border illegally. And now, for
Mm-hmm.
fear of being thrown out of that country, they're crossing our border illegally. That makes them double federal criminals. Uh, and we're endorsing these people and we're funding these people. I mean, they're even getting their teeth fixed. They're getting a health benefit cards, like drug benefit cards, things that I don't even have. And I paid for those services. I'm a taxpayer. I paid for that. Why are my
No,
teeth not getting
absolutely.
fixed for free? That's where Canadians are getting sick of it and feeling ripped off. And that's why this native born Canadian movement is about Canadians, true Canadians. And I got to keep saying it because people are going to, the native born thing is a little bit confusing. Fact is if you're a full Canadian citizen with Canadian citizenship, and regardless of nationality, you're a Canadian. And
Absolutely.
you deserve everything that any Canadian should have before an illegal immigrant or before your government gives that money away to other countries. That's where it pisses me right off. Our government
Well,
squandering our hard-earned money to other countries, and some of them, these people hate us. You know.
Well, the thing I always found irritating was the average wait time after you start a new job is about 6 months before you can get a loan or a mortgage, and even then, sometimes a mortgage is about a year or two. But yet, you can have refugees or people that just came in here, and usually within about 2 months, they have a house, they have, everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this is why I'm talking about equality, right? I mean, if they can
yeah,
get it, why can't we? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's
We
not
have
that
to.
I'm hating on them because they get it. It's like, hey, I want to be able to start a job within 2 months. I'd love to get a new house.
Exactly.
I'd love to get a new car, right? It is what it is, right? And that's pretty much the basic principle is that we want to put Canadians first that are working hard, paying their taxes, and that need change.
Yeah,
We should be
yeah.
taking care of our people. Like people are homeless, people are in poverty, and we have one of the fastest growing homeless and poverty rates than any other first world nation right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, the U.S. has way higher numbers, but their percentage rate is going down because the jobs are going up.
Yeah, yeah.
So the
Well,
more that
that's the sad thing is we're housing these illegal immigrants and we're leaving Canadians to starve on the streets. And that's where I don't get it. If we've got the money to house these illegal immigrants and to feed these illegal immigrants, why don't we have the funds to save our own true Canadians? You know,
well, the worst part
our
is
government's
people in
corrupt, I
jail that
guess,
are
is the answer.
prisoners get treated better than are homeless. If you ever
Yeah,
seen the way the cops treat the homeless, like if they're caught on a bench for too long, the cops will just be nasty to them, and they shouldn't be. They really shouldn't be, but they've, uh, and the
yeah.
reality is, like I said, it's just they don't have any other options, and that's where the cooperative community project would take play. It would allow for Canada wide for us to be able to first help people that are on social service and disability get off of that, then slowly work on a certain percentage. We got a formula worked out so each percentage on each deal, because you took just homeless, we're not going to get very far 100% right off the bat. But there's a lot of trades workers who are on social services because they couldn't find work. After the EI ran out, they couldn't find work and they end up on social services.
Wow.
Good, hardworking people can't find jobs.
John Burasa just commented, our banks are offering them halal compliant interest free loans for crying out loud.
Yeah, no,
You know?
exactly, right? Where's my interest-free loan? Exactly,
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
and stuff like that. So, but we want to kind of keep this going here. So, is it all right if we move on to crypto creations there?
Yeah, yeah, let's go to that. Yeah.
Okay. So, what me and Dunn Ryan did, I came up with the idea, but me and him, we worked together. Uh, we created a site where we put GoFundMe together with crypto. Okay, sorry, I paused there for a second. I got a notification. So we put GoFundMe mixed with cryptocurrency. So what we do is organizations that need to raise funds or companies, to get up to that level to be able to, get stock, stuff like that and go public. We offer a way to raise funds by offering tokens. So we even hosted the platform on our website. So it allows for people to go, oh, hey, I might be interested in this, I might be interested in that. And next thing you know, they like 20 different causes, right? And the idea is pretty simple. Instead of just giving and getting nothing back, they're getting tokens. And these tokens are digital currency that can be used later down the road. So people can trade them in for good services, or in your case with C3, a date evening with Dan Dubois there for about 25,000 tokens.
Yeah, for 25,000 tokens, I will take one for the team.
Well, we'll try
Yeah.
to find a nice
And
one there, right, Dan?
yeah, and we've actually put out some. We're going to give away our swag. Like for 11 tokens, we'll send you a free T-shirt. For 7 tokens, we'll send you a free C3 hat. For 4 tokens, we'll send you a C3 decal that you can put on your car or whatever. And we've got support gear and what have you. So we're going to start donating our gear away. You'll have to pay the shipping costs, but like for 11 tokens, we'll send you a free T-shirt. You know,
Well,
so
and then
your
you have the
token.
cooperative community project, because the idea with that is we're not going to just be an organization that just helps people and then we rely on funding all the time to exist. We actually want to mass produce something, whether it be food items of some kind. This actually helps teach people new trade, helps teach people new ways to do things, right? So while they're doing that and learning, we sell off the excess. This helps continually fund the project down the road. So it's not just, oh, hey, government, let's have, keep giving me money, right? Because we're successful. Well, it's great we're doing successful. Maybe we do need a little bit to top up, but if we could be mostly sustainable, then we don't need to rely on the taxpayers down the road to keep building these communities, because there's not just going to be one, it's going to be everywhere across Canada in a very short time. You start with one, and then you use then six the next year, so it multiplies by 5 by each community each year, and it's just a matter of giving that staff the training for the first year. So even staff to people that are taking the program is 100% voluntary. This way, the money can actually go to help people. But while you're there, you're essentially trading your time for resources you already need. So actually, for a lot of people, you're actually way better off living in these communities than you would be if you're trying to work a minimum wage job, trying to make it by in the city.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
and everything's covered. Like, you don't have to pay rent for your cabin. Utilities are handled, food, clothing, everything on the basics, right? So this actually makes it a lot easier. And the idea was to provide a stress-free environment for people to learn. It is quite well proven that people actually do way better when they're uh, in a stress-free environment. So we would actually sell to Canadian businesses first for the food. If we did a food, we'd probably have our own grocery store set up on the property, so people would get, maybe for a whole pickup load full of food might be about $1,000, if that, for them to come shop at one of our stores.
Sure.
We're also going to be setting up a lot of other things as well. But I mean, one thing is those tokens can be handed in for that food down the road. It may not be right away, may not be a year. I hope it is, but you know what I'm saying, right? Is that
Yeah.
those tokens can be used down the road for buying stuff, and that's like other stuff.
Cool.
Now, the fire relief tokens that we have up, we want to try to help with the forest fires. And it's not that we want to help increase the forest fires, obviously, right? We want to get boots on the ground and feed the people, right? So we can get people out there. We need money to do that. So we have tokens for sale. We have the Ontario Forest Fire Relief Fund, and then we have the Canadian one. We got 3 forest fires now across Canada. So either one will go to the same pot, and we want to set it up so that way we can put like literally, put camps out there so we can help people get fed. I mean, that's the biggest thing they always need is food. And then if we can get clothing out there, donations, that goes a long ways too, right? But it's having those feet on the ground, and you need to buy the equipment and everything like that, as well as buying the food. Now, you might have a lot of grocery stores donate some, but it's still a matter of getting gas, fuel, and getting everything up there, right? So it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
easy. And I mean, these people are going through hell right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if
So
you haven't been in a
basically,
smoky area right now, and it's bad where I'm at in this town, I can try to show you guys. It's enough to make my asthma go bad, and I'm not sure if you're able to see the smoke, but
unreal.
for someone who's there in that forest fire, it would be bad, right? So if you can donate to the Forest Fire Relief Fund, as far as we're not really finding a way to cash it back in, but you can keep the tokens, and it allows you to kind of say, hey, I did something. It shows
Yeah.
you have something to show for what you've done. And we will be putting
And
up a market eventually, so you can actually put them up on the market for the going rate down the road if you actually do want to sell them. So, and someone else may want to buy them just to say, hey, I had them.
well, it's definitely better than just donating money and not getting nothing in return. This way,
Oh, I
at
know
least
it.
you're
That
making a donation and you're getting a token, and that token is redeemable. So,
what
you and 20% from what Scott was saying was going to go towards funding the movement and funding the homeless. So your donation isn't just going to the group, it's going 20% of it is actually going to a very worthy cause, and that's our homeless. I mean, what other group is doing that right now? That's why
Well,
C3
no, I
got
know
into
exactly.
this, because it's a great
You have
idea.
GoFundMe there. That's an American organization, and I mean they're rich beyond belief. I mean, we had that incident over here with the Bronco kids there that passed away, and it was very unfortunate. They made close to about 5 million off of that, and it didn't stay in Canada. Whereas if we could have had this up and running, that all the funds could have went straight to that organization, help those families that lost their children. But
Right.
this is just one example of what we could do for Canadians.
And will only be as successful as what people fund it. So if
Well,
nobody
absolutely.
funds it, it's going to fail. It's simple as that. If people help and fund it, it could be successful. It could be very successful. If it became
Well,
very successful, it would also be very beneficial for a lot of people deserving to receive the help. So it's only
absolutely.
going to be as good as what people put into it, you know?
Well, and you don't actually need to receive the tokens either. You can put in the comment section saying, "I don't want the tokens. This is just a donation. Thank you very much," or just "I don't want tokens," and it can just be a straight up donation too if you don't want to deal with the token side as well.
Yeah.
So that always helps. Um, you can also use PayPal and just make a donation too if you want up to the organization. PayPal button straight up will be coming up, but unfortunately that doesn't go to that just goes to the main website, and that you can always comment where you want the donation to go. But I find it easier if you just buy the tokens and for the set price, and then just say, hey, this is just a donation. I don't want anything in return. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
So this goes a long ways to making it is a big game changer, right? This is going to change the way Canadians are able to help others, and they get something in return with a whole new commerce system.
Yeah, well, and you know what? You don't have to buy right away. You could buy one token every month. That's $5. And in 12
Exactly.
months, you're going to get a free t-shirt because you donated $5 a month. That's what
Well,
C3 is willing to do. We're willing to give away our swag. And of course, we're going to be making a small profit. And that profit, if you want to know what we're going to do with it, is we hope to help fund Patriots on buses and what have you. Even the C3 members that are attending rallies, to this day, have been digging in their pockets and paying their own gas and their own campsite. I mean, if you don't think these are good people, if you don't think that these are people that care about Canada, go get your head checked. Guys like Ronnie, they're calling out C3 and really disrespecting such a valiant group of people that are trying so hard to help their fellow Canadians. It disgusts me when these fake patriots, criticize us and with no
well,
justification
absolutely.
whatsoever. Criticizing us because we actually let people speak at our rally that they didn't like, and that because
Well,
we
we're
endorse
real, and
people
that's
that
what they don't like.
you
Rodney
know,
sits there at home with his in his parents' basement with the African American wife, who's a real nice lady, I hear, and he's got like 3 kids with her, or 2 kids. But it is
no,
what it
I
is.
don't think he's got any kids.
Like, I mean, he
Yeah,
pretends
I
to be
don't think he's got
racist.
any kids. And I know he's not in his mom's basement, actually. Like I know I picked him up at
Oh,
his apartment. But
oh,
let's be
geez. He
real.
actually does have a place of his own. He kind of
Oh
gives that
yeah, yeah.
impression he lives with his
Well,
parents
I
still.
guess he does well begging on the subway because that's what he is. He's a marginal musician at best. That's why he's not in a
Okay.
band. So he's a
Well, no, it's
marginal musician that plays in the subway. In essence, a beggar, a person that probably pays very little taxes, if he even does. And he's out there calling himself a unifier, where fact of the matter is he's the biggest divider that we've ever seen, and many people are starting to see it. He disrespected many
absolutely.
groups. He disrespects patriots. He belittles people that come on his show. You could tell the guy's got low self-esteem. I mean, what's a 30-year-old kid doing on a Friday night disrespecting patriots when at 30 years old, I'll tell you one thing. I wasn't stuck in my apartment making lame videos on Facebook, regurgitating stuff that anybody could have picked up on Facebook on their own. I was out
Yeah.
having fun and enjoying my life. So it's quite obvious to me that, it is what it is. I don't think Ronnie has any friends. I mean, at 30 years old, I don't know any 30-year-olds, anyways, that are home on Friday nights making videos disrespecting people because they're a malcontent.
Yeah, no,
Ronnie's kid is a
exactly.
malcontent with so
Well, I
low
mean,
self-esteem and makes him feel good by belittling others. I mean, it's a textbook schoolyard tactics. I mean, come on.
well, you look at the whole Patriot thing. Like we were mentioning that 19 days that I spent in Ottawa. Well, actually, it was more about 24, 25 in total, but 19 days we're out there camping. That all came out of my own pocket. I sold my minivan. I sold everything I had worth value to make it there. And it was wise was because of the fact that there was a person I knew who passed away, and I got frustrated. He froze to death in the park in Saskatoon during the winter last year here. I don't never remember his name. He called me once a week to once a month. I bought him a burger and a Coke last spring, and I said, if you need to talk, just give me a call, right? And so he called me up every so often, and last time I heard from him, he said, hey, I can't find a place to stay, Scott. And I said, well, you can come to my place. And he says, well, I have no way to get there, and I don't want to be a burden, right? So he wouldn't let me come get him and all that stuff, and I didn't have the ability to go get him. And I wish I would have been able to go get him because he still would have been alive. But I phoned back the last number he called me from a week later and found out that he froze to death on a bench.
These
So,
stories are horrifying. Why stuff like this is happening in a civilized, wealthy country like Canada is beyond me.
well,
Why is our government so willing to cater to these illegal immigrants and forsake its own Canadian citizens? I don't get it, you know?
well,
Like corruption. That's the only thing I can think of, you know?
well, yeah, no, exactly. Like they keep getting paid more and more, and then they stop questioning and stop caring, and then you got Justin Trudeau who doesn't seem to have any feelings. It seems like he actually seems to enjoy when people hate him. I don't remember the actual mental diagnosis they call that, but he's not well, pretty much. I mean, if you can go through those rallies and have everyone screaming in hatred at you, and then go up and make a speech saying everyone loves you, there's something wrong with your head.
Yeah, yeah. I'm reading some of the comments there. There's a Kevin McKenzie there, a total pessimist, this guy. Uh, you know, these are people that like to criticize without solutions. Sir, I've also been self-employed for 30 years, and I'm very successful. And I've also know that if you don't take risk, you won't get anywhere. So this is not very risky, okay? People could buy tokens for $5, $10. I don't know how, maybe in your world that's high risk, but in my world it's petty. But fact is that $5, $10 at a time can make a difference. So your
Well, and people could
pessimism,
buy
I
tokens
can
like
I can understand and I'll tell you something else, Mr. McKenzie,
yeah.
is I find it very hard to believe that a person with such pessimistic views is a success. So are you just lying or are you trolling? I mean, come on, you know?
Well, see, the biggest thing is too, though, is like say you only had like 20 or 30, but you want to kind of give to all. You could buy a few tokens of this, a few of that, and give to every cause, which is nice too. So you don't have to just buy one set of tokens either. And that's kind of what the nice side about having the multiple platform is you can kind of give to a little bit of everything. And
Yeah,
I mean, with GoFundMe, you literally get nothing in return. So
yeah.
people are already donating, and we're just making it so that way there's creative ways for people to actually get something back in exchange.
Well,
Whether
just think in the future if businesses and everything else, businesses get on board with this, well, then you can redeem your tokens with them. That's how they would help. Is
well, yeah,
they could
exactly. Or
also,
even if they could take it, take a token for 10% off or something like that, right? There's always ways for us to be able to set this up. And I mean, cryptocurrency is no different than your regular wallet. I mean, it's a digital number on a bank account, right? And that's all it is. Most
Yeah,
people
yeah.
look at it a bit differently, but that's the basic, right? If you don't have the
Well,
fake paper in your hand, it's just a number on the board, just like the
and
cryptocurrency is.
I just want to, Kevin McKenzie again says, prove me wrong about the tokens. Well, I'll prove you wrong.
Oh yeah.
Does GoFundMe work? Yes. Do people get thousands of dollars through GoFundMe? Yes. And do they receive anything in return? No. So this is the same thing, but you get a token which you can redeem. So you're getting something in return. So it's the same thing as GoFundMe, which is highly successful, except that this you get something in return. So it's actually better than GoFundMe. So how
Well,
can it
and
not
we
be
don't
successful? You know?
absolutely, and we don't charge anything for people to set up either, right? We don't put anything up front, but we do charge a percentage because we need to pay the bills, right? We
Right.
also, and then anything at the end of the year goes to these other organizations that need help. But we're not in it to make money. It's going to be set up as a nonprofit that helps others.
You know,
When
and
we're fully
the token thing doesn't mean that it's going to take over Bitcoin. That's not where we're going with this, Kevin. We're not trying to compete with Bitcoin. This is just the tokens for groups, for a way for groups to fund themselves, and for, in the same respect, fund homeless. The 20% that the groups must donate to be part of this movement. So for every dollar that we receive, 25 cents goes towards the movement, and the movement does good things with that money. It helps the homeless and what have you. I really don't see any negative things about this. And, you know, if you do, I don't get it, because maybe you think we're trying to compete with Bitcoin. Like you're talking, I give you
Dan,
5 years with the token
Dan,
idea. Give me a
he's just
break, you
mad that
know,
he didn't
it's
come up
not
with
a
the idea
5 year
first. That's
plan.
all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
exactly.
just mad that he didn't come up with the idea first, and that's why.
Yeah, maybe he's angry because he didn't come up with this great idea. We're not going to save
Yep.
the world with this, or maybe we will. You know, everything starts with baby steps, and everything starts with a grass movement, and everything starts with an idea. Some are better than others. I mean, I saw guys become a millionaire with the hula hoop. Okay. So, you know, don't tell me that, you know, this is not going to succeed. If it does, mud in your face. You'll wish you never made these comments. And I'll tell you
Yeah.
something, like I say, if GoFundMe works, why wouldn't this work? You know, he's been in marketing for 30 years, worked for Walt Disney. Oh my goodness. A huge
Well,
list of
I got
other
to say, you don't
companies.
have the ears to match.
Well, I don't think you made Walt Disney, because it's you didn't come up with the idea. You worked for them, so you're a servant at best. You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I was a car salesman. I owned a used car lot. I owned a speed and custom shop. I owned a collectibles store. Many of them were successful. I'm not poor. I'm not rich, but I'm not poor. And you know, and I worked for myself. I didn't work for somebody like Walt Disney. I worked for this guy, Dan Dubois, and Dan Dubois
Mhm.
did pretty good for himself. Okay, so you know, don't tell me. I'm not impressed. People working for others that call themselves successful, it's limited success, my friend. You know.
Well, plus you also got to look at it this way too. Us helping people get off social service and disability means less taxes you have to pay down the road. So by investing in these tokens, actually saves you money down the road later on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. You know, this Kevin, I'm looking at, the guy's a troll, man. That's all it is.
Oh
He's
yeah, but
buddy, you're a troll. When we're done this video, I'm getting rid of you if you're on my friend list. I'll tell you that. Mr.
well,
Pessimistic
he's
there.
probably sitting there
Jeez.
grinding his
And
teeth
where's
like,
your crystal
why the hell
ball,
didn't I think of this?
Kevin?
He's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
sitting there.
Well, he's got a crystal ball, I'll tell you that, because he tells me there the token idea will fold. He's got a crystal ball too, the dude. You know, the
Maybe
clairvoyant.
it's just a shiny
Well,
head.
buddy, you know, there's a lot of people, Walt Disney, there's a lot of other companies, NASA's who you should be applying for with your crystal ball there.
Absolutely. So I want to know, Kevin, did the NASA actually land on the moon? Can you see that with your crystal ball?
He's probably a flat Earth. He's probably a flat Earth believer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know
the
what?
whole cable thing is everything moves
These
around, eh?
these guys, when they make up their mind, okay, now he's done. Yeah. Well, I would be
Nah,
too,
he'll be
but
back. He'll be back.
yeah,
Just give
yeah,
him time. He'll be
so,
back. Just as
yeah.
soon as he comes up with more ammunition, he'll be back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he has no solutions, only criticism. And you know what I
Yeah,
think of people that can only criticize and have no solutions? I say, shut the hell up, man. If you got no solutions, criticism gets you nowhere. You know,
absolutely.
constructive criticism means you have solutions. Criticism means you're a crybaby. You know, it is what it is. Unreal.
Well, see, the first rule of marketing, because you got to get the job, so you got to actually sell yourself. So he probably actually
Yeah.
went into a lot of places and had the door slammed on his face before he ever got an opportunity, and then he eventually was supposedly successful. So
Mhm.
I mean, new ideas come all the time, right? He was an industry that was already there, so it was a bit easier for him to. Someone else already paved that network for him. So all
Well,
we're
that's what
doing is
I'm
paving a
saying.
new
I'm
network for
saying
people.
that's limited success. When you write on the shirt tails or coat tails of others, I mean, you can be successful, but the patting on the shoulder has got to be limited because you were successful on the shirt tails or coat tails of someone else's success. When you've worked for yourself or you're self-made, as they say, that's true success, and there's a big difference. You know.
No,
And
absolutely,
and you and
and
when you're like that, you're not out trolling videos. You know, you have better things to do with your life. Like I don't go out trolling videos. If we're attacked, I will defend. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't go out trolling other people's videos with negativity. A lot of people, I hear what they say, and I think, geez, that's not too bright or that's not going to work. But you know
well, see,
what? If they're making an effort, I keep the comments to myself, and I wish them the
absolutely.
best. You know?
Well, see, right now we offer services for three countries: Canada first, then Russia, and the United States. I want to bring some of that money up here. So people want
Yeah.
to get that GoFundMe thing going for the U.S. That's great. I'm more than happy to help them out. And then this helps bring a bit of U.S. dollars back up to Canada for a change. Or you got Russian
Yeah.
rubies that can come to Canada and for them to help. So we're setting it up so that way as we go, we can be an international organization just like GoFundMe, right? Except the
Yeah.
people actually get something in exchange.
Thanks, Gabriel. Yeah. Yeah. No, I just commenting on some of the comments. Commenting on the comments, man. So
So
that's basically what this was about. It was an introduction to the native born Canadian movement and to the account that we have set up to help fund ourselves and other groups and the movement helping fund the less fortunate. And
well,
Scott,
we
I'll tell you,
also
his
want
work
to
is
ask
really
people
hard.
if they can get accounts for with VK.com, and we're going to start setting up for a backup network because with Trudeau and Facebook making a deal, anything that's considered fake news is whatever they determine it is. We're going to see a lot of patriots being kicked off Facebook left, right, and center. It's already happening. So
Yeah.
if we switch to the Russian version of Facebook, although it's owned by a Russian company instead of Mark Zuckerberg, we can actually have a real chance to have a freedom of voice without being censored.
And they're called VK, V is in Victor, K is in Kevin.com.
Absolutely, they have about 600 million members worldwide, over 200,000 Canadians already, and so if we can use this for our network to help out, that would be great. And we also have uh, the social side set up on our website too. So when you get a membership with the Native Born Canadian movement, we have so people can create groups on there. They create a profile. They can talk to other people on there, and this allows them to make friends and get to know people in the movement as well. And so again, of course, if you lose your Facebook, it gives you a place to
Yeah.
be able to figure out what's going on. and help others. Now, right now, like I said, we got 100 spots left for the free option, and it will end tomorrow at midnight, and the promo code's 2018. In case you missed the beginning there, and it's nbcm.ca, and you just go to the membership, basic member, and put in the promo code with all your information, and it's just 2018. And once that's gone, then there'll be $50 a year. If you can donate while you're still doing that, please do so, because any funds would be greatly appreciated to help people and members.
So basically, it's Native Born Canadian Movement, NBCM, which is the capital letters of every one of those words, .ca. So that's the website that you go to join it. And like Scott says, the next 100 people that go there, if you enter promo code 2018, which is 2018, you'll get a free membership. You won't have to pay your membership this year. Okay.
And the reason why I picked the 2018 there, Dan, because this is the year we're going to start making a difference.
Right.
And this is why I picked the promo code. And like I said, if you miss that deal and stuff like that, and you don't have any money, we'll give you a membership for free for the first year, because this isn't about making so much money on this. This is about getting people together to work together, right? Anyone who's a patriot that was out at your rally this summer too, I'd be happy to give them a free membership. Anyone who came out on ours, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they already put in money. I think that's a long ways to, making a difference.
Yeah, and Dan Unruh just commented, we're going to put the link on at the bottom of this video, Scott? You're going to, or actually, you can send the link to the page and then we can approve it, right?
Well, yeah, okay, and we already have the C3 tokens up for sale. It's Dan Dubois has, Don Ryan there. I'm horrible with names. Sorry about that. He has the C3 tokens up there and set up for people to actually start buying them. It is posted to the top of the page there, and I'm just going to come up here with
it's pinned on top of our Canadian Combat Coalition national page. It's pinned right on top. You just hit the pin on the Canadian Combat Coalition.
There we go. I went and linked the deal there. Yeah, and so essentially, cooperative community project, which has a little over 10,000 members, not all active anymore, but then we have C3, and we're merging them together to a certain degree to make the Native Born Canadian movement. And we'll have other organizations who want to work with media outlets, the whole 9 yards. So when we're ready to go, even that membership will go to help fund a little bit of the media there for the smaller companies that want to be able to actually get our voice out there. And it will only happen by memberships, donations, stuff like that. And that's how we change this country, right? We get our message out there saying we're making change. And once we have millions and millions of members all across Canada, we can actually represent a good legal stance, or we could actually elect our own people into Parliament.
Once again, I like to brag, C3 leading the way in innovation and in trying to do positive things for our fellow Canadians. We're the only group that I know that had a huge barbecue last summer. We gave away a swing and slide set to a park. We gave away 3 bicycles. We gave away a barbecue. And we had a barbecue for, we gave away over 100 hot dogs and 100 pop cans and 100 bottles of water. So, and then we've been invited to some, like a Bangladesh seminar that they have. The only group to have been invited to that seminar, where we learned a lot about the trials and tribulations of what the Hindus are going through in Bangladesh. This group, if you think we're a joke, you look at our history and the things that we're doing and where we're going. And this is a group of true patriots working hard to make a difference for Canadians and everyone that we can help, poor, unfortunate. We make an effort. And we're announcing tomorrow evening, tune in, I'm going to be going live again. C3 and other groups are going to be hosting an event in September on the 9th, Sunday, the 9th of September, that's going to make everyone proud to be part of this group. And again, we're leading the way in innovation. We will be flipping the switch and putting a positive light on groups. Enough of this negativity, enough of this crap going on, and enough of us being called Nazis and stuff when fact of the matter is we're good people trying to do good things. So tomorrow I'm
Well,
making an
Deb,
announcement of a
all I have to
fantastic event.
say is if we're Nazis, we're doing a horrible job at it. A
I
very
would
horrible
say,
job if we're Nazis. Very horrible.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's pretty
we got
much,
our native brothers and sisters from every culture, every
yeah.
race in our group, and then we got people that aren't native to Canada altogether, but they're still joining us up as brothers and sisters, arms in arms, to come and work together.
Stephen Alexander, I'm happy you're watching because I'm going to be reaching out to you. We're going to be hosting an event on September 9th that's going to make all Patriots proud and going to make C3 members really proud. Not all of them are privy to what we're going to announce tomorrow, but I'm announcing it tomorrow. And it's going to put a positive light on our group and other groups that want to join us. The left will have a really hard time spinning this into a hate fest or whatever they always try to do. I mean, if you spin this idea that we have that we're going to announce tomorrow into a hate fest, you're clearly retarded. You know, and you're going to look like a retard. I mean, anybody that's going to criticize this event is going to be criticized. It's plain and simple. This is too good a thing that we came up with, and I'm
But
really
the
proud
liberals can
to
only do
have,
so much. And that's the best
yeah,
defense. That's the only defense liberals have is just calling names, right?
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, well, I saw it. I watched the Berkeley thing there not too long ago, and it was all Nazi, 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 and shut up, shut up, shut up, and F you, F you, F you. That's all they got. They got no argument whatsoever. You know, I
Yep.
seen the removal of that statue today. You know, shameful. You know, taking down our history to protect the libtards. I mean, give me a break. If we
Well,
forget
actually,
our
this
history, we're going to repeat it. And some of our history is really ugly and bad. Do we really want to repeat this history? Come on, you know?
this actually all falls in with Agenda 21. Well, is now Agenda 2020 now, but thanks to Trump, they might even be gone altogether. Elite group across the world called the Cabal are obsessed with trying to hurt people, and they had very good plans to exterminate a lot of the people around the world. And
Yeah,
because they consider us the problem, when its reality is them stealing everything from the people and not sharing resources properly and not giving people opportunities to be able to work and take care of their families. That's what the reality is they're the problem, not us.
right. Exactly. So I want to tell all the Patriots that tomorrow, around 9 o'clock again, it's a good time because I'm pretty busy during the day, but 9 o'clock, tune in. I'm going to be going live again, and I'm going to be announcing an event that we're going to be hosting that's going to turn Antifa on its back, that's going to make all Patriots proud to be part of this movement. I promise you. It's a great idea we came up with, and I'm having a hard time not letting you know what it is, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Tomorrow night, tune in. Stephen Alexander, you know, we're hoping for your support in this. I'm sure you're going to be on board. You know, so it's going to be a great event. It's going to be September 9th. It's going to be held in Toronto, and that's all I'm saying. Okay, Scott, are we done, bro?
No, everything's good. Just asking everyone to get a membership, 2018 promotion, vk.com, and God bless and have a great day.
All right, Scott, it was a pleasure having you on. You're a smart guy. We're proud to take part in your movement. Again, this is a great thing for everyone. It's going to benefit everyone, but we need people to follow through and make donations. And we're not, you know what, like we say, $5 starts at $5. You throw $5 at a time, you amass some tokens, and next thing you know, you're getting a nice C3. Look at these nice shirts, man. Like, these are nice shirts. You know, you're gonna get a T-shirt like that in the mail. And we got support T-shirts. We got little string T-shirts for the girls, the support ones. We got hats. We've got decals, and we're gonna get more gear. If this is successful, and people start buying the tokens and we start raising funds, those funds are going to be used to buy more swag, C3 swag, to give away for the tokens. So it's
Absolutely.
a give and take situation. Yeah.
And we will actually be putting up a website eventually here once we've had enough donations coming through, and we're gonna set it up so we have another website for every organization's gear can be put on there. So when their tokens are sold, people can actually cash those tokens in for gear.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
It'll be mostly automated, which will be nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We're just going to get a notification that so and so has given this many T-shirts and would like to, or given this much money for this many tokens rather, and would like to receive a T-shirt in exchange, and give us an address, and the T-shirt will be on its way.
Well, absolutely. And what it comes down to is it's so many tokens, and then whatever the shipping cost is, right? So on average with our supplier, if it's just one little thing, then it's usually about $10 for shipping. And I'm not sure what your cost is, but if people order, usually it's about the same shipping cost, whether they order one shirt or 10.
Yeah.
But it all depends on which one, right?
And how many tokens was it again for a date with me?
25,000 tokens for a date with Dan Dubois. 5,000 to take Dan Dubois out for supper and spend at least 3 hours with him picking his brain. I don't mean like actually like a monkey kind of thing, but I had to put that impression out there. If you find mites in his hair, let me know. We got to make a good joke about that. And then there's for 1,000 tokens, you get to spend a lunch with Dan Dubois.
Yay,
go buy him some
fantastic.
nice lunch and whatnot, and yeah.
I think the 25,000 tokens for a romantic date with me is kind of cheap. I think that's a good deal.
Absolutely. Oh, it should be interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
No, and the one last thing I do got to mention is that we are just waiting for our production staff to actually get the wallets up for people to hold their tokens. So anyone who buys right now, they'll still get their tokens. We're just going to hang on to them until everything's set. They will get an email as soon as they're ready and saying, download, send us your wallet address, and we'll be happy to send you the tokens you bought.
Then all you got to do is open your wallet, and you can see how many tokens you've amassed, and then you can redeem them from there. It's a great process. I'll tell you, Scott,
Absolutely.
You guys did a great job. You and Ryan McLean, I got to commend you guys. Great idea, hard work, great effort, and I'm really hoping that it's successful.
Absolutely. Yeah. It'll be really good. Now maybe we can get that Kevin guy to quit being so stubborn. Maybe he can come work with us and give us some of his marketing ideas.
Yeah. Hey, the more the better.
Give him a percentage of the company for helping.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right. So I'd like to bid everybody a great evening. Yeah. And I'm hoping you guys tune in again tomorrow night so that you can hear our announcement about our great event up and coming on September 9th. With that said, Patriots, have a great evening. Take care, Scott.
God bless everyone.